directly from DNI Tulsi Gabbard as she declassifies another email thread from Obama's IC who's linked to Adam Schiff, who's now in serious trouble. He's under criminal investigation for his role in Russiagate and leaking classified info to the press. And we now know who is the key witness against him. Yes, there's a witness, which changes everything, sharing why Schiff, get this, was so obsessed with Russiagate. You won't believe this. And a major update out of DC, Trump revoking the District of Columbia's sanctuary status. We reported this on Monday that we thought this was coming. It's big news and more stories from around the country. But before we get started, thank you for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps out the channel.
All right, did you hear about this? A Democrat whistleblower has told the FBI that then Congressman Adam Schiff approved leaking classified information in order to discredit President Trump, and the White House is giving its first reaction.
The president has already said he wants to see Adam Schiff held accountable for the countless lies he told the American people in relation to the Russiagate scandal. I have a quote from the FBI director. For years, certain officials used their positions to selectively leak classified information to shape political narratives. It was all done with one purpose: to weaponize intelligence and law enforcement for political gain. Those abuses eroded public trust in our institutions. The FBI will now lead the charge with our partners at DOJ and Congress.
Senator Adam Schiff facing growing calls to resign from Congress immediately as the FBI and DOJ now have a witness. Yes, a first-hand witness who's turned state's evidence against Schiff, a 12-year Dem staffer who worked for Schiff during the Russiagate period. Adam Schiff under criminal investigation for leaking classified info to the press, using his then role as the chairman of the House Intel Committee to lie and to alter. That's what he did. He altered the public's perception of President Donald Trump and the Trump administration. We all remember what Schiff was up to for years, claiming there was evidence that Trump was a Russian asset, that he worked for Vladimir Putin, that he was financially entangled with the Russians. All untrue, but at the time, he was the chairman of the House Intel Committee. That's one of the most powerful jobs in Congress. He was part of the Gang of Eight, so the media took him seriously. Never in its history has the chairman of the House Intel Committee been seen as a partisan in that way. It's a very serious job. They're the one member of Congress with the ranking member who were read into black projects, special access programs, all of it. Well, it turns out Schiff wasn't just lying to the public, saying he's privy to intel that proves Trump was a traitor. It turns out he was cherry-picking intel and leaking it to the press.
If true, how serious of an offense is this, and what can be done?
Well, it certainly is very serious, and Shifty Adam Schiff has justifying his name that he was given. Leaking classified information, as you know, is a serious offense, and it will be up to the Oversight Committee, Judiciary Committee, in order to handle this. But this is a very serious allegation. I've asked for Senator Schiff to resign. He should resign immediately.
The new D.C. attorney, Jeanine Pirro, leading the investigation. The last person you'd want investigating you if you're Adam Schiff. Jeanine Pirro saying this case is so high profile and sensitive that she's overseeing it personally. And just to refresh all of our memories of what Jeanine Pirro thinks about Adam Schiff, watch this.
So what he's doing is he's trying to whet the appetite of the American people, teeing this up for an impeachment, while the Washington Post comes out and says this guy's got 4 Pinocchios. He is a liar. You take it from...
Now, is this case all smoke? Is it just another smoke screen? No, it's not. They have a witness, a whistleblower. This is a game changer. A former Dem staffer for 12 years is working with the FBI and the DC attorney, turned state's evidence, and guess why? Why this witness who worked for Adam Schiff, who's now testifying against him, guess why he says Schiff was so careless with this intel and so outspoken at the time, why he went full bore for years about this Trump-Russia angle? Because Hillary Clinton, this guy says, promised Schiff the CIA director job if she won. He says Schiff really wanted this job. And when Trump beat Hillary, Schiff just lost it, lost his mind. He was angry and he wore it on his sleeve every day. Watch.
Well, a Democrat staffer is the whistleblower. He was a Democrat staffer on the House Intel Committee for 12 years. And on top of claiming that Adam Schiff approved leaking classified information, this person also said Ranking Member Schiff was particularly upset as he had believed he would have been appointed as the director of the CIA had candidate Hillary Clinton won the election. What do you make of those details?
Well, remember that we were upset with Adam Schiff being put on Intel and kept on Intel. We thought he should have left Intel, been off of Intel when this was suspected earlier before, when also suspected that he was lying about classified information. So this is a serious charge. He needs to be held accountable, but people need to call for his resignation. And I think members of Congress, at least on the Republican side, are asking for him to step down.
Let's just take a minute. Can you imagine Adam Schiff being CIA director? How horrifying a thought is that? President Trump weighing in on this today while speaking at the Kennedy Center, saying what Adam Schiff did was horrible. He didn't just break the law leaking classified intel, which is a serious crime. He also altered the course of U.S.-Russia relations, possibly forever. The lies he told in that position of trust put our country in real danger.
I would have had a good conversation with Vladimir. I knew him very well. I got along with him great, actually. We had I had to go through the Russia hoax. And it was actually, it was a strain on the relationship. I actually told him, I said, you know, they got this phony investigation going on, Russia, totally phony, created by Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff, and Hillary Clinton and the whole group of them. And it made it very dangerous for our country because I was unable to really deal with Russia the way we should have been. I'm looking at Pam because I hope something's going to be done about it. These people put our country at great danger. And Adam Schiff, it was all made up. It was a hoax. The Mueller report came out. They all hated me. They had 18 Trump haters. And they said I did nothing wrong. They couldn't believe, they couldn't find anything. After years of investigation, it was all a hoax. It was a hoax created by the Democrats, but in particular Schiff and Crooked Hillary, the whole group. And now we've learned all the stuff that's come out over the last 2 months is incredible through intelligence. And hopefully something's going to happen with it. These are people that put our country in danger, in real danger. I want to thank you all very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let me know if you agree with the president, how the lies Schiff told, the conspiracy he was allegedly a part of, accusing the Russians of an act of war, trying to overthrow our government, that's what they were selling. Playing politics with something so serious, risking a confrontation over a lie with the largest nuclear power on the planet, all because he was angry he couldn't be the CIA director. Pretty remarkable. The former U.S. Attorney Brett Holman saying Adam Schiff could be facing 20 years in federal prison plus a $250,000 fine for every piece of classified intel that he leaked, saying the fine's up to $250,000 for every individual leak that's charged. So he's in trouble. This witness, he says, changes everything. Watch.
Yeah, I mean, the fine is up to $250,000 for every leak that's charged. So it depends on the counts in the indictment. Also, keep in mind, some of the punishment hinges on the purpose that the classified leak or the possession of classified documentation illegally. So the purpose becomes very important. If you'll recall, Comey, when he said no prosecutor would prosecute Hillary Clinton for having classified information, I mean, it was just an outright lie. But there was always this question, this debate. What was the purpose of it? Was it just sloppiness? Same with Joe Biden. Was it sloppiness that he had all of these, that he used the classified documents to write his memoirs? Was there anything truly nefarious about it? And there was some analysis of Donald Trump. But with President Trump, it was just, you had him, we're going to go after you because that's how we're going to apply the law. But in reality, you have to look at the purpose to see whether or not there are aggravating factors. Here, I believe this was, in essence, the beginning of a conspiracy to take down a president. to impact his ability to lead. There are other statutes, conspiracy statutes, interference with, official proceedings, etc. There's question. A lot of people have question about treason. Is it treason? You probably don't satisfy the elements for treason, but there are some related crimes that could come into play. And if you found that the individual was doing it in an effort to undermine the United States, you're looking at potential penalties of up to 20 years in federal prison.
Let's not forget that's separate from the mortgage fraud investigation that's happening. Adam Schiff has real problems. Meanwhile, Tulsi Gabbard declassifying another email thread from Obama's IC, an email thread between the FBI, CIA, and NSA that Tulsi says proves once again that President Obama gave the order to manufacture the 2017 ICA about Russiagate, writing moments ago on X, newly declassified top secret emails sent on December 22nd, 2016, complying with President Obama's order to create the manufactured ICA about Russia, exposes how DNI James Clapper demanded the IC fall in line behind the Russia hoax. Clapper admitting that it was a team sport that required compromise on our normal modalities. Linking to the full email thread, asking you to read it for yourself. Tulsi saying, go ahead, read it for yourself and make your own judgment. Well, we did. We read it. And it's a smoking gun that even Obama's NSA at the time wasn't on board with this new Russia election meddling report. In this email thread, Obama's NSA director, Mike Rogers, pushing back hard that he doesn't feel comfortable signing on to this intel package, writing, to be clear, I'm not saying that we disagree substantively, but if NSA is intended to be a co-author of this product, I personally expect to see even the most sensitive evidence related to the conclusion. However, if your intent is to create a CIA-only or CIA FBI-authored product, then I'll stand down on these concerns. Again, this was from Admiral Mike Rogers, Obama's then NSA director, refusing to sign off on this Russiagate narrative that the intel, he said, wasn't there to get us to sign off. We need to see the evidence. Saying maybe it's easier for you to just present it to the president if you just remove NSA as a jointly authored participant. In another story, the Trump administration announcing moments ago that DC's illegal alien sanctuary city status has been revoked under the authority of President Trump's federalization. We reported on this Monday how we thought the DC takeover had to do largely with immigration, rolling it out as a test case to see if they can get around these sanctuary city and state laws. Well, it looks like that may be in fact the case. Watch.
I think DC under federal control is not going to be a sanctuary city. We're working with the police hand in hand. When we encounter a criminal illegal alien, then we turned over to ICE. And that's the way it should be. I mean, I'm not saying every illegal alien in DC is a criminal, but many are. So these are people who are going to focus on it. Illegal alien criminal safety threat in D.C. is not going to be protected. There's no sanctuary for these people in the city of D.C.
If this does indeed work and the political blowback isn't that bad, they'll do it next in Illinois, then California, Colorado, Massachusetts, one sanctuary state after the next. They'll begin taking our country back. And good riddance. All right, that wraps up this episode. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.